All right, good morning, everyone. We want to welcome Mr. Sebastian. People online won't hear me too well. Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome Moon from Scotiabank. He's here to talk to us on numerous topics this morning. So I'll just give you the floor and then you can start talking to everybody. I want to just make sure you're in the screen. Then people online can see you.
Hi.
Yeah, they can see you right there. I'm just going to say by you because then I can let anybody in if they want to come into the meeting.
Hi, my name is Moon Mahalingam. I'm from Scotiabank. Been in the industry for about 22 years now. Worked 20 years with the TD Bank and last 2 years with Scotiabank. And in between, I did about 6 or 7 years, I did the commercial lending too. So if you guys have any question on a business banking or commercial lending, I don't do that anymore, but I could help you with the financial statement. So how to look for the numbers, that if you have any issues, anything like that. And before that, and I just wanted to, there's a new couple of policy came to Scotiabank. It's regarding to getting ready for the upcoming new 2022 fiscal year. And the first thing that I wanted to go through is, I don't know whether you guys heard about that, sliding scale. So let's say if you were to buy a property, let's say $2 million property, normally all the banks would take first $1.25 million, 80% of the 1.25, which is $1 million. And other 750, they would only take 60% of the 750. You understand that, right? So what we do, $2 million property, first 1.25, we'll take 80% of the loan to value, which is $1 million. And other 750 will take, some banks take 50, some bank takes 60%. And the rest of them, you have to come up with the down payment. So right now, but the Scotiabank increased that limit to $2.25 million. It's in a GTA property only that I could go up to 80% loan to value to $2.25 million. If you were to anybody buy a house up to $2.25 million, I could do an 80% loan to value loan, which is 80% loan to value, which is $1.8 million.
I thought they did 100%. They take the money and do something like that.
No.
No, they don't do 100%.
No.
Oh.
We don't do only 80%. That you can do the secure insured mortgage, which is a 10% down, 5% down. That's a different story, right? That CMHU, those guys will not go into that area anything more than $1 million. So it has to be unsecured.
After buying the property in PPA, when client want to buy the property like $2.2 million, how about your mortgage?
So if your client buying a $2.25 million property, the banks would take 80% loan to value. We'll give it the 80% loan to value, which is a $1.8 million. And the balance $450,000 will give you 60% of them. Okay, so $2.25 million. So a bank would give you 80% of the $2.25 million, which is $1.8 million.
The mortgage qualifying, how much down payment?
That's 20% down payment.
20%?
20% down payment.
I have one client right now because last night $1.8 million. You want to give 40% down payment. Do you handle this one?
Yeah, we would go individual deals later on. I'm just going to go through the policy. Then I will talk one-on-one with you.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Other than taking the questions now, we'll do the Q&A in the end. So this is the new policy that Scotiabank came out because the GTA property prices are so high. So the Scotiabank is willing to go 80% loan to value, which is $2.25 million. Price up to $2.25 million, we could do 80% loan to value, which is $1.8 million. And the rest of them would be 60%. The other $450,000 will give the money for 60% money. So basically, you're getting a $2,070,000 mortgage for $2.25 million more purchase price. $2,070,000.
1 million.
Right. The other question that I always come across is, do you guys have anything for the small business clients? So we have a VFF policy right now came out, and it's provide, let's say a lot of small business people, they do not show a lot of income when they do the personal notice assessment. Banks always ask for personal notice assessment. Okay, how much income did you claim? So under the BFF policy, what we do right now is we will take company net income up to 60%. So let's say your client personal income you show only $40,000, and his company income net income you show is about $100,000. I could be able to add 60% of the net income, which is the $60,000, added to his personal income. So now the personal income from 40 to jump into $100,000. Self-employed.
Okay.
Right. So that's the one of the things. The qualification would be the permanent resident of the Canada. The client has to be a permanent resident, and the business must be registered in Canadian. In here, it has to be registered in Canada. Yeah. Customer, it's an incorporated company, right? We don't do it for the first sole proprietorship. The reason being is when you do the mortgage and sole proprietorship, whatever the net income is always come to his personal thing. So we don't have to do that. So it has to be incorporated company, and we will take net income. Net income, yeah, 60% of the net income, right? So that's you could I could use that thing for the buying a property, refinancing, switch, and all that stuff. What we need I'd like to have a 2-year client's notice assessment, not the notice assessment, personal notice assessment, 2 years company financial statements. I don't need the audited financial statement. Notice to read is good. You guys know what's the difference, right? So notice to read is unaudited financial statement. Review engagement is audited by the chartered accountant, signed by the chartered accountant. So I don't need the review engagement. All I need is a notice to read the financial statement, which is any normal accountant would be able to prepare that. Right? So yeah. Okay. Right. So we don't need a review engagement, but just a notice to read a statement, financial statement, which is good enough for us to do that thing. And the business must be registered and operating at least 2 years. Right? Okay. The other one is the total net worth lending program. Right now, Scotiabank come up with a new net worth lending program. Let's say your clients, their income is so low, okay, $10,000, $20,000, but they have a significant amount of wealth investments, RRSPs, GSEs, TFSAs, anything. We could able to use up to $250,000, as long as the client has a $250,000 liquid assets, okay, liquid assets, we would be able to do the deal for them. On top of the down payment, $250,000 net thing. So, and all the banks, when they go for the personal net worth thing, they're looking for at least 1 year statement, the funds being in the account. Scotiabank only need 90 days. You show me your money, $250,000 in the account for 90 days, we good to go. That's people with the minimum income. So if you look at a lot of seniors or on people are close to in their late 50s, early 60s and everything, a lot of people have a significant wealth built up in RLSPs, TFSA and all that stuff. And there maybe the income is much, maybe it's less. We could approve those deals under the total net worth lending program. And the money has to be in the account only 90 days. Let's say you have a house and the house has a significant equity built up on the house. You sold the house, you're buying a new home. And you would ask, can I use that equity as one of the net worth lending guideline? Yes, you could do that. Even though house is not closing, the purchase house is closing. Let's say your purchase property is closing on October the 15th. The property that you sold is closing on November the 30th. I could still use that equity of the house to the new house as under the total net worth program. So that eliminate the 90-day the money that has to be in the account. All I need from you is firm purchase and sale agreement to confirm that property it's already been sold. You guys got that, right?
Sorry, I just had one question. So the net worth qualifying, what does that qualify you for? If you have, I guess, $250,000 for 90 days in liquid assets, like what are some, like so essentially what does it qualify you for? Like any property you buy, or is it is there restrictions on that?
You could actually buy the new property, and I could do the refinance. You could switch from the bank to bank, and we could do that.
You gotta pay a penalty, Joey. You gotta pay a penalty,
For switching the banks.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is the penalty of that? You know, you have an idea from one
No
bank to
idea.
another?
Some people do
Let's say
that.
they switch from your bank to the other bank.
Yeah, so when the renewal come up, and you could actually change it. And if you think the rates that with the other bank is a little higher, you could actually change it to lower rate. Sorry, what was that question they asked me? The gentleman on the speaker?
He's right here, Mahi. About what?
He asked me something. I couldn't
He's
catch
still
that.
here. Mahi,
Hi.
can you just repeat a bit of your question there?
Yeah, for sure. So the net worth, this is something new to me, which is good to hear about. So if you do have, let's just say, $250,000 in liquid assets, so in terms of going that method, like, can it still, even if, for example, your your example, your income is $40,000 or whatnot, you're not showing full income, can you still, like, for example, qualify for $1 million house under that method?
So under that method, yes, we could qualify for a mortgage. And you said the income is low,
Like 40, he said.
only 40,000.
Yeah, just like.
But you have the 250 is what he's saying.
Yeah,
You have a 250, and so what we do the actual income calculation for that property, right? So which is the regular calculation to up to 40% income, right? And after that, whatever the money that you have to have dollar value matching. Let's say you buying $1 million property under his normal income rate that he could only qualify for, let's say $600,000. That you have to show me other $400,000 to qualify for the rest of the $1 million.
Okay, and is RRSP and TFSA, is that considered a liquid?
Yes, RSP is considered to be a liquid asset, but we only take 70% of the RSP. Let's say you have $100,000 RSPs, we would only take 70%. The reason being is if you were to cash out that RSP, 30% of the money goes to the government, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, we could able to actually take out and we could do the treasury bills, bonds, Canadian savings bonds, and all that stuff. Equity in the existing house, liquid assets held in the holding company. Some people have equity built up in the holding companies. So people, let's say some business people have operating company and the holding companies, and if people have money in the holding company that I could able to use that as a $250,000 requirement.
Okay, great, thank you.
And if you have any clients, please call me. And so each and every client is unique, and deals are different. Deals are much more complicated these days, and people have a lot of rental properties and everything. If you have any of those clients, just call me, and I could make sure that I could work out some sort of a deal for you.
Okay, perfect.
All right, then. You guys have any question on a high net worth program? So what happened is when we submit this deal with your income confirmation, I need that 90-day bank statement or RSP statement or a GIC, so whatever the statement, when I have to provide me with the upfront before we submit the deal. That's how they look at it. So when the deal goes to the underwriter wants to see the money is already in the account more than 90 days. And we are the only banks actually doing 90 days. So all other banks are, some of them are six months, some of them are 1 year.
How the gift study?
It's a gift letter.
Gift letter is not it's a investment. Okay. I know it's a lot of people have now buying a rental properties. Okay. 10 years ago, if you were to ask me to do a deal, it's only take about 20 minutes to half an hour. Now, each and every client would take about 3 to 4 hours. A lot of people have 2 to 3 rental properties. When you have a rental property and you have to get all the lease agreement, tie up all the numbers and do the rental worksheet and all that stuff. I know a lot of clients now investment in a rental or investment properties. You guys have any question on that? So Scotiabank do the rental property. We do not calculate the DSC, debt service ratio. All other banks, TDs, RBC, and everybody have it. We are the only one who don't do the DSC. That's mean we only take even the multiple renters. Let's say you have 3 houses and 2 condos and everything. That's fine. We only take 50% of the rental income, and we do not take any expenses, condo fee, property taxes, and all that stuff. We do not take those things. So, but let's say your monthly rentals are 3,000. I would take the 1,500 of your rental income, and I would not include any of your expenses. That's mean we could do the rental wash. Very simple. If you have a lot of clients who have a condo rentals and everything, that's condo fees are right now it's about $600-700 a month. And if the client has 2 or 3 condo rentals, and if you were to do the refi or change the mortgage, or if you want to buy a 3rd or 4th condo, Scotiabank is one of the best because we do the rental worksheet. We take the 50% of the net rental income, and that's it. No condo fee, no property taxes, no other expenses. So if you have any clients who's looking for multiple rentals and everything, please call me. I could be able to do that. I could go up to about 80% loan to value each property, and the minimum credit score is 621.
That's what?
621.
621.
Yeah, that's a minimum we can score. And I could do a refinance, home equity lines of credit, and so on and so forth. And it has to be come from the minimum payment, down payment has to be from your own sources. Gifted down payment is not for the rental property. You cannot buy a rental property in a gifted down payment. It has to be come from your own source. It's coming from your home equity line of credit or any other source. You could refinance the existing property and take the money out and buy the new property. And I just want to let you guys know, Scotiabank is the only bank. Let's say you have a $500,000 home equity line of credit that you do not have any balance.
Mhm.
We will not take. We will leave it as a $500,000 zero balance. If you go to any other bank, let's say you have a $500,000 home equity line of credit with a zero balance, they would consider that you have a $500,000 balance on the line of credit. The reason being is you could actually use that line of credit in a matter of minutes to bring up to the $100,000 maximum. We are the only bank, Scotiabank is the only bank, do not consider, if you have a zero balance, we will not add any minimum payment to that $500,000 line. Or any amount. I'm just giving you an example, 500,000. But if you go to any other banks, TD, RBC, anybody, that they will add, even though you have a $500,000 line of credit with a zero balance, they would put the minimum payment on that. That means they would calculate that your $500,000 balance at 5.25 amortized over 25-year period of time. That's extra that they put the $700 payment, monthly payment, to the calculate the new property. Scotiabank, we don't do that. So that's the other thing. We don't do the rental home rooming houses. We don't do the student rentals, and it has to be just a standalone normal rental.
What is it, just residential or? no
Residential.
commercial? No commercial?
No commercial component. Like some of the houses in Markham, you can see downstairs is that people live there. Downstairs is a store, upstairs people live there. We don't do that either.
Let's say I want to buy a condo, commercial condo, we do
When you say commercial condo, what's
a
exactly?
commercial condo, and I rent it out and make an income from
That's
that.
fine.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Mortgage it?
Yeah.
Or
You're talking about commercial property or
condo,
investment property?
industrial condo. Or, like, you can use maybe 20% of the office and the others.
No, we don't do that.
Or you don't do that?
No, it has to be 100% residential. We don't
Has
take
to be
any
100%?
100% residential use.
Residential use?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
If you look at the Danforth and those areas, it's a downstairs, there's a store, upstairs, the people live up there.
Yeah.
We don't,
You
we
don't
don't
do
touch it. No.
Is
TD
there
Bank
half
would do that.
commercial, half residential?
Yeah, TD Bank was the only bank would do that property,
TD Bank?
Yeah. and
Okay.
Scotiabank would not do that.
Oh, okay. So more or less, they're all in residential.
Yeah, but even the TD Bank, the commercial component would be only 35%. If they exceeded more than 35%, they would not even do that.
Mhm.
So 65% as a residential, 35% commercial component. Sorry, you have a question?
That was actually going to be my question. Is there a reason? Is it like riskier to have
Sort of thing, yeah. That's why banks have different policies. And
Who's the best
Scotiabank.
bank right now to get a loan for a hotel? Commercial hotel?
That's
Is
you
there
have to
any
go into
other
the
bank
commercial.
that
That's
do
the
that?
commercial banking.
Huh?
That's commercial lending.
Yeah,
You could try
Royal Bank?
Royal Bank, TD, and usually
Montreal,
the
Montreal?
banks would stay away from the commercial lending when it comes to the motels and all that stuff. Usually people get it from the outside lenders, unless if it's a name brand, the hotel and stuff like that. The
Private
bank.
lenders, you mean? So that means more interest, yeah.
The other one is the purchase plus improvement. A lot of people buy these days buying a house. Let's say you bought a house for $500,000, and you need some money to do upgrade your bathroom, kitchen, or you want to finish the mortgage, the basement to create a multiple income. We will give them money. It's called purchase plus improvement. Let's say you bought the property $500,000, and you come and tell me, Moon, listen, I need $50,000 to complete the thing. So we could go up to 20% of the purchase price, whatever the price that you bought. I could give you extra 20%, up to 20% to do your finishing a basement or improving the kitchen, not for structural damage changes. So only for cosmetic changes. If you were to come and tell me, Moon, you know what, the house is not livable, I wanted to knock it off and put the thing, we will not give that thing. Anything that, let's say, if you want to come and tell me, and I want to finish the basement, or I want to do upgrade my kitchen, bathrooms, and everything, yes, we would do up to 20%. If you're able to give. So what happened is $500,000. Let's say you're getting a 10% loan, $50,000 to finish the basement. So now the purchase price will be $550,000. So you have to down payment has to come from not $500,000. Down payment will require now from $550,000.
That's the government have a program doing that, you know, government. There's a program the government can give you a loan for.
Now I'm talking about the banks. So then when you complete your basement, and we will do the appraisal in the end, and we'll give the what of the money that you guys spent, we'll give that money upon the closing.
How about your backup collateral with the house or bundle?
When you buy the house and do the mortgage, the house is collateral anyways, right?
Or another 50,000?
Other $50,000 we'll give, and given the fact that you are upgrading your house, right? When you upgrade your house, the house value is going to go up, right? At least a little bit.
Of course.
So yeah. So if you have a house, that what happens is when you do that, that creates a multiple income streams. So like there's upstairs income, downstairs there's other income coming. So a lot of people are into these things. To buying a house, the property is not finished, the basement is not finished. But for a loan from us, from the bank, finish the basement. Because it's a rental property, you could write off all our expenses, right? The rental income.
What about the legal basement or non-legal basement?
There's a legal that thing is out of the window now. So we don't know, none of the banks are looking for the legal basement. As long as it's a self-contained unit. That means you have to have a separate entrance, not through the garage, not through the house, outside. That's if the fire or anything happened in the house, the tenants in that basement could come out of the house without any interruption. So a lot of Markham houses has a second the side entrance through the garage. Even my house, they would not take that. Has to be outside, separate outside garage. It has to be a bathroom, basement, the bedroom, and the normal thing. Must bathroom and the bedroom and the kitchen must be in there. It has to be a self-contained unit.
So how do you figure out, you know, like when you have a basement apartment, okay, the basement can be rented, maybe $1,000 or $1,400. So you have an average, and then you give the mortgage to the person who's buying it based, huh?
We'll do the market rental opinion. So what we do when we do the appraiser,
Yeah.
we'll ask the appraiser, can you find out the market rental on that area?
Okay,
Okay, or you can come and tell me, Moon, listen, I have a tenant here. You have a lease that's you paying $1,500,
mhm.
and here's my 3-month bank statement showing the $1,500 depositing in my account. Be fine.
So that's,
So
Yeah.
what about interlocking outside the house? It's going like a home improving?
Interlock?
People want to throw it at 20,000. They want to knock it off.
No, this is that is very into the bathroom. There has to improve your value, right? Some
Yeah.
of the things you do for your pleasure, some of the
Outside
things
as
that you
well,
do,
know, they
to-
have
to-
separate
to-
extra parking.
yeah. Some of the improvement you do to increase your value of the property, which is bathrooms, kitchen, basement, would increase the value of your house, not the interlock. Interlock would do something that's kind of pleasurable.
I
for
know.
banks consider. And the other one is the last one, mortgage for the non-residents. A lot of people ask Moon, I have a client in US wants to buy a house in Canada. Can you do the mortgage? Absolutely. You could do that.
Okay, I have a question about, what
Okay,
is the percentage of the tax, international people?
15,
50%?
15, 1 5.
15?
yeah, that's the government.
Anyway,
thing.
we can
Not to pay.
raise it downward. The people already, I have 3 clients over there. They keep on calling me, hey, your government do anything, just evade the taxes.
That's actually the lawyer would take that funds and send it. So they will not do that. The program applies to the residents, other countries seeking to purchase a second home in Canada. The owner occupied a secondary vacation home, the single property unit. The purchaser switch, individual, including Canadians who principal residence is outside of Canada could qualify for. Let's say you're out, the principal residence outside the Canada, you want to buy a second home, yes, you could qualify. We could do up to 25 years amortization, 40-year thing, and you're for the US people who buy the residence in Canada, I could go up to 80% loan to value. They could put 20% down and buy the house. Anything other than US, they had to come up with the 35%. How do you calculate the income confirmation? For the US, we have no problem. Just give us an employment letter, 3 months bank statement showing that income is going, be good to go. If anything other than, so a lot of people think, oh, my client's living in a Dubai or any of those, there has to be the company, the person who works has to be in a Fortune 500 companies,
Okay.
or recognized by one of the biggest accounting firms. That we could able to verify that company actually exists and he is working there. For the US citizens, we don't have it. Even the Kenyan who lives in the US, we don't have to go, we don't have to
So
worry about
what about the British? British, we are already under current.
anything other than US. Let's go to the same thing. If the US, we will get the Equifax, US Equifax, we will pull that thing. Anything other than US, they have to come up with the international credit thing that they have to pay for all that stuff. Any documentation. So some people send me the letter from Dubai in Arabic. They have to pay for the translation fee and all that stuff. And so it has to be independent verified, and they're gonna have to pay for that. You can only come with 35% down payment. The gifted down payment is not considered to buying a non-resident. The money has to come from own source. That means they have to provide me with their bank statement and everything showing the funds already in the account for at least 3
Foreign
months,
account or?
for 90 days. Foreign account is fine. They could provide me with the foreign account. Like a lot of people give me a HSBC statement, a lot of or Bank of Gulf Bank and stuff like that. People in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and all these people.
So there's always connection from the bank.
But the person who wants to buy a house, the company he works for must be in the Fortune 500 companies.
Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
How do you
How
check?
about,
I will check.
how about the Canadian wanting to purchase?
No, not that's. I can give you a home equity line of credit. A lot of people buying a house at Florida,
Yeah.
and if you have in here, I could give you, let's say your house is less thing, I give you $500,000 home equity line of credit. You take the money and pay off the thing,
Yeah.
or there's a cross-border banking by TD Bank. TD has the biggest presence in Florida, and TD could do the mortgage. You could actually apply for a mortgage in here, TD's cross-banking, the representative would be able to get the mortgage in Florida.
Have to be in Florida or any part of the state?
But I'm talking about the TD, the more presence in the Florida, Boston, that area, Eastern Seaboard, their presence is much higher. Okay. I know it's a lot of info, but hey, so I'm just going to go through the program that's available. The other one, I'm going to go for the projected income for the physicians program. That's mean, let's say somebody is doing the residency or he's completing his medical school in 3rd year or 4th year, anything. Can they apply for a mortgage? Absolutely. But it has to be a Canadian recognized university, not from Ireland or any other Caribbean thing. Anything. They would not do that unless they completed the studies and they registered in Ontario. Yes, we could do that. So a lot of people complete the studies outside the country. They come and take the exam here and register here. We could do the mortgage. So I know when you're in the 3rd year or 4th year or even a 1st year medical student, your income is not that much. But under the new projected program, I could be able to take if it's a normal medical residency, I could actually take $185,000 income. He doesn't have to show anything. I would project this income. This income would be $185,000, and I could do the mortgage. You could easily qualify for $1 million.
They don't have any down payment on this initial stage.
So just going to go. The minimum down payment is 10%. 5% has to come from its own source. So 5% would be gifted. If it's an uninsured mortgage, which is 20% down, 10% must be from its own source, 10% from outside. If it's a normal residence fellow, I could take 185. If it's a medical residence fellow in a 3rd year, I could use for $225,000 income. If it's a medical residence fellow the last year, I could use for $225,000. If it's the person studying for cardiologist, $359,000. He doesn't have to show me. Okay, so that means this guy could qualify for $3 million home right off the bat. Okay. The anesthesiologist, 300,000, cardiologist, cardiovascular, 300,000, clinical care medicine, 300,000, the whole bunch of things. So if you have any students, anybody, so a lot of doctors, and you could come here and listen, yeah, they could qualify, but if they have a $200,000 student loan, which is very common in any medical student, we will not take that student loan payment now.
So they must have a citizen or.
Oh, definitely. Oh, you can hear them, right?
How about the lawyer student who gonna be started LSAT completed and started teaching?
No. That's only for the veterinarian and dentist and the doctors, not for the lawyers. Lawyers, we have a different program that's called professional segment, but they would get the preferred interest rate, but not the financing. The financing is only for the veterinarians, physicians, and the dentist. So if you have any 3rd year, 4th year clients, or the guys who's doing the residency 1st year, 2nd year, if they want to buy a house, we will give you the projected income. We will approve the mortgage based on the projected income. Though this guy is already have $300,000 income, we will approve the mortgage. I know a lot of these guys have a $200,000-300,000 loan. Well, I know because till they finish the study, they don't have to make the payments, and we will cannot consider that.
Oh.
So that's for the doctors. For the veterinarian and the dentist. Dentist, we could able to do for $125,000 projected income. If it's a veterinarian, I could do for $86,000 income. Just start. They don't even have to start the practice. Just show me the enrollment thing, and we will do the verification with the College of Physicians and all that. Then we could do it.
Does have any special program?
Yes, we have a lot of money. So I just want to summarize this thing. So we went through the veterinary and dental physician program, which is the projected income. They don't have to show me any income as long as they enroll in the Canadian, which are the permits, we could do that. If somebody studied outside the country and if they come and registered inside in Ontario or any other thing, we could actually same as the Canadian thing. And the Business Plus program, which is I could be able to add 60% of the net income to your personal income to qualify for a mortgage. Okay, all I need is a notice to read a financial statement, which is not the chartered accountant. Just read between the lines. And the total net worth program, $250,000. As long as you have the money in the $250,000 in the account for 90 days. If you have any clients, please reach out to me, and I will definitely work out with you. And these are the common policy things that I don't like to come here and talk about the policy. Each and every deal is different. Be more like interactive. Ask me any questions, anything that you need about this. Anybody, any questions regarding mortgage?
Everybody online, anybody online got a question?
I just got one more. Moona, I know you mentioned if you buy property and then you renovate it and you bring it up to market value, how long do you have to wait for the appraisal? Do you have to wait? I heard it's like 1 year. Do you have to wait like that for Scotiabank, or can you do it all at the same time if it's within like 3 to 6 months?
No. So Purchase Plus program is because let's say you bought the house for $500,000 and you come and tell me, listen, I want to finish out the basement and I need $50,000. So we will give so you come up. So I do the mortgage for $550,000. Your down payment based on the added value, which is $550. Your down payment is not coming from 500. Now it's a down payment is going to be $550. So you have to calculate the 20% down payment in the $550, right? When you finish the house, let's say your house is closing in a month or 2 months time, and on that time you complete you get the house, because you cannot finish the basement on the house thing, right? You have to get the house first, not thing. Within 30, 60, 90 days, you should be able to give that money back to you. How fast you get? I could even give the money back in 30 days. Some people go there, finish their basement in 30 days. They can come and tell Moon it's all done. The appraiser, house is completed, basement is finished, will reimburse the money back to you.
Recently, I did the same. Client bought the house, I think the basement. It cost me $45,000. The basement is nice, finished, everything is done. So now is the time to talk to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. But on that time, you have to, so that means that they bought the house and they came back and they finished the basement?
They in the last couple of months.
It's only over new purchases. Then that goes in a refi.
I have one question. You know what? I'm planning to buy one house like 800,000, like a rundown renovation thing. Okay, I want to flip the house again another 3 months, fully done. Okay, I can sell the property 1 million or something. Okay, I can make around $80,000.
Okay.
Okay. So when you go on that line of credit, we use it again. So what is the situation? I can get it there.
What line of credit?
You know, it's 800,000, just like a 200,000 renovation cost come out there. Okay. So I can get the loan over there.
Only 10%, 10 to 20% of the value of the property.
10 to 20.
Yeah. So let's say we bought the house at $500,000. I could go up to 10 to 20% of the value of the house to finish the house.
So I'm not going to pay off that one within 3 months. I will sold the house and pay off that. Okay. So I want to reuse the line of credit. So what is the snap? I will get the mortgage as a line of.
What line of credit?
Like a 1 million line of credit. To purchase something.
Hey, no, I didn't follow that. Can you repeat that?
Okay. I can buy a house in 800,000 and line of credit.
Okay, you're buying a house at $800,000. Okay.
And renovations.
You want to do the renovation?
Around 1.2 million.
Okay.
So I will come and pay off you guys for key. Okay, line of credit. Then I will buy another house again. Same line of credit I want to use.
Once you sold the house, the line of credit is gone. The line of credit is secured against that property. Right?
But
So-
I have something like a line of credit.
But there's no equity, there's no line of credit.
So no, hey, let's say you bought the house.
Equity line of credit. I have a house. So I put a lien on.
So that's a different house you're talking about. Ah, okay, yeah, that's fine. If that's your equity line, you could do anything you want, right? That's your money.
So you said, sorry, go ahead.
That's all.
Yeah, so initially, purchase plus improvement.
Yeah.
You said 550, right? You buy the place for 500, you get the 1,000, the mortgage is for 550.
Right.
Within 3 months, you fix everything, you give the 50,000 back. Is it? You reimburse the 50,000.
Once she complete the appraisal and see the basement is finished and everything, we'll give the money, yes.
Okay, but the mortgage stays at 550,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's a
that's like a
lifelong
loan.
thing.
It's a loan, exactly.
It's a 25-year
loan.
I'm just
amortization,
over 20 or 25
just
years.
for borrowing 50,000 for 3 months. But you have that cash back in your hands for you to play.
Exactly.
Okay.
A lot of other banks, like if you ask a TD, you have to provide maybe the invoices and everything. But Scotiabank, we don't ask for the invoices. So some people, let's say you know how to do the basement and everything. You come and you finish your own basement and tell, oh, you with your brother or whoever, and you come and tell me when I finish my basement, we'll do that thing, we'll give the money back. But in Scotia, other banks, you have to provide actually the invoices and all that stuff. They will not even start the property without a plan or anything. In Scotiabank, we don't do that.
You put the, let's say he was talking, the $50,000 renovation, you put that before or after the renovation?
Before.
You have to spend
Before,
your
how,
money.
what happens if it's more than, comes out to 75,000?
I can
When you
touch
increase
your
it to 75,000 or it stays 50,000?
50.
So you have.
That's why so when you come into the thing, that's what you're telling me. So you give me the plan, they give you the floor plan and everything, tell me. So we will ask for the detailed planning. You said, okay, I need a plumbing for 3,000, light fixtures and everything, 1,500. So you, yeah, exactly. So you give me, let's say, okay, the whole project is
Based
cost
on the
me.
list of contractors, you say, okay, this is, all
So-
the work complete, it's gonna cost 50,000.
That's exactly
Then
right.
you're gonna- okay.
Yeah. So they're telling me, okay, I need a $5,000 for the kitchen, to $3,000 for the bathroom.
Mhm.
So I look at all the things. Yeah, it comes out to $48,000.
Before or after you buy the house?
After you buy it.
After you buy the house,
Yeah.
so when you fully own it, you have an ownership, okay. Where there's a time limit or what? Then it can be a year after to renovate it, then you put,
It's a purchase plus improvement. That's mean you're buying a house. Meantime, you're doing the renovation, applying for a loan. Not after a year, not after 6 months, after not 3 months. Purchase plus improvement. That's when you buy a house, you're telling me, Moon, I'm buying this house. I wanted to complete my renovation. I need extra funds. That's the only time you can apply for it.
mhm,
When you actually purchasing it the first time.
when you're renovating, actually doing the renovation.
I mean,
When you're
the
ready.
mortgage should be the same bank.
Yeah. What do you mean same bank?
You see, I bought a house from RBC.
Ah.
Now I am coming to you.
No. That's the mortgage has come from that. Why would I pay help RBC to do your loan renovation? This guy's there.
I know, right?
That's RBC's problem. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Everybody good online?
Yeah, I have a question. Hi.
That's grand.
Hi, yeah, Bhaskar. If it's first time buyer, going to 5% down payment and they have $50,000. And I hear that they had to be premier resident or they can show the rental income or something for 500,000.
If you were to buy a rental income, you might have to have a minimum of 20% down. You cannot buy a rental property with the 10% down. The 10% down is for the first-time home buyers, so the CMHC or Sagen or whoever the thing insuring the mortgage to help Canadian to buy a house. First-time home buyer and that. If you come and tell me, no, I'm buying a house for rental, no, then you have to come up with the 20% down.
Yeah, but they're allowed to pay 5% down. They call like a first-time buyer. Then so that's why my question, like why they had to they can show the rental income or something. Like a first-time buyer, they are able to put 5% down payment. They qualify for mortgage, no? That's why we call first-time buyer.
I got it. So they bought the house for 5% down. They can show as a basement rental income.
Yeah, is it possible?
Yeah. But those things are approved by CMHC or Sagen or these private companies, the insurance companies. As long as the whatever the document they ask, we provide them, and if they approve the deal, we're good to go. The bank would not get into that because of anything less than 20% deal that we don't do that. They have to insure the mortgage.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that Bhaskar, yeah, you could do that, Bhaskar. You could do that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Come on, guys, it's a mortgage. You have tons of questions.
I heard it's gonna be 25% CMHC, you know, for down payment, instead of 20, they're boosting it up a little bit. Instead of 20%, it's gonna be 25%.
No,
It's not a
20%
little
is
bit, that's a lot.
With CMHC.
No, there's no law yet.
Probably they make more.
CMHC is
They're boosting up, instead of 20%, currently 25.
So what kind of income everybody is expecting, like 100,000 or 500,000 worth of property, the client going to be buying like a 2% working income side?
the rule of thumb is to qualify you at 5.25, $500,000 mortgage. You're looking at about close to anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 income. That then you have a personal car loan, student loan, credit card debts, and all that stuff. But the rule of thumb is about close to anywhere $90,000 to $100,000.
That is for a $500,000 property.
Not $500,000 property, $500,000 mortgage. The property you could buy the $800,000 mortgage, you come with $300,000.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So if second time home buyer wanna buy property $1.3 million and his income approximate $75,000 a year, but he has 20% over down payment, how we can get the mortgage from him?
he already have one house. He has his primary residence and he's buying the rental property. How much is it, the income will be?
75.
No, he will not qualify. Unless if you come up with somebody as a guarantor who sign any of the stuff, then you will take a look.
Sure.
So you said $500,000 mortgage, you have to have like $90,000 income, right? That is net or gross?
Gross income.
Gross is fine.
Yeah, husband and wife, gross income. Yeah. Gross income is good.
Anybody else online got a question? Everybody's
Do
quiet.
you pre-approvals for new builds as well?
No.
You don't?
So what happened is they stopped the pre-approval on our side. That these things, a lot of these condos are closing in 2024, 25, some of them are going 26.
Right.
And I could only do up to 12 months.
Okay.
Anything after that. So they stopped on our channel. No more. Even the builders have stopped asking for these things. What they're asking for is now the big builders, as long as you provide them a letter from the bank that you have a financial means to close the property, you're good to go. Trial and all these things, the property closing in 2024, 25. So you get them a letter from the bank, you're good to go.
How do you define that you're financially capable?
Let's say you go to your bank and they look at your portfolio and you look at the investments, your existing mortgage income and everything, they will provide you with a letter. Because what happened is the builders now usually, if you for 5-6 years ago, we just put the pre-approval and give it to them. Yeah, there you go. Even the builders not asking for pre-approval, they don't want the commitment letter with your property address, the lot numbers and the expected interest rate and everything. There's a lot of restriction on those things because based on those letters, the one bank financed the project, right? So they have to sold so many percentage of units in order to get the financing secured.
Hi, is ODSP income considered as an income for mortgage purposes?
BG.
What?
ODSP income? Husband
Husband
is working and the wife is on ODSP.
You have issue on the permanent with disability.
Yeah.
You have a letter to confirm that from the government.
Yeah, I think she can
then
get.
then I could able to use it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, thank you.
And let's say if you were to buy a house, you're buying a house and you have a rental income coming from downstairs, can you take the rental income? Absolutely. I could do 50% of the rental income. Yeah. So let's say you refinance your house and you have over 1,500 coming from downstairs, I could able to take 750,000 added to your income sort of thing. So we could be able to do that too. Yeah. And if it's a multiple rental, then again, you don't take any expenses, 50%, you're good to go. And if you want to do, if any of your clients want to apply for a home equity line of credit, a lot of these agents I have success with, thing is, I dealt with a lot of agents 10, 15 years ago. What they do, they go back to their clients. But all these people have a lot of equity built up on their property. Let's just you go back to your 5-year, 10-year client and look at your thing. They have so much equity built up. Send those people to me. I'll do the home equity line of credit. You go and buy the investment property. I have a lot of success on that. A lot of my seasoned agents, the guys who's been in the business a long time, I asked them, give me 2 names. Give me 2 names for a month. That's the extra sales for you. You go back to your list. You look at Moon. Yeah, I bought these guys for Markham 5 years ago. It's probably now worth about $2 million. Sunday they'll tell me, I talk to them. Sunday, you have to be proactive, guys. Things are changing. You have to be advice piece. You have to go back to your clients and talk to them and let them know, listen, you have sitting in a lot of equity in your house. Why don't you just invest that money? Buy a rental property, buy a car, do something.
Do you need the income that time?
I think you need it. Yes.
I have one client, he don't have any income, zero income, and his mortgage is paid
Then he
off.
has to go into B lend.
Need income?
That's a B lend. B lend.
Oh,
So if you have to do a mortgage, right? I know some banks they do, I don't know the exact term you use. Every month when you pay your mortgage, the amount which goes towards the principal goes towards a reusable line of credit.
Yes, so it's called in Scotiabank, we call the STEP program.
Right.
So so what we do, we set up a line of credit and the mortgage together. Every time you pay off the mortgage, your line of credit increase start to go up. Yeah, a lot of it. 80% of my 90% of my deals, I always set up people like that. In that case, in future, they don't have to come and apply for everything. It's already been built up. So it's much easier for them. Even if they wanted to buy other additional product, or if they want to buy a car or anything, they don't have to go and apply for a loan at 6%. You could get the loan at 1.4, right? But that's always do that to the clients and make sure that, a couple of years down the road, you may not have a job or income is less. Unless you set up earlier on, then you don't have to worry about, right? When you take out the money, we don't check the income.
You can only do it when you're getting the mortgage,
No. After that too.
or you can do it
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah. But we set up as a home equity line. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will go back to your clients and look into the file. Give me a 2. Do that thing. And I work with other home like Future Realty guys. I periodically do the thing, and I asked a lot of the senior agents. That's what they do. 2 deals. Give me 2 names a month. Extra sales for them. Clients are happy. There you go. A lot of people do not realize these things because they're busy with their life, their work and everything. A lot of these people have a lot of equity built up in their house. I remember back in these days when I did the mortgage 2003 and 4, on that time 0% down payment, 40 years amortization. All these people who bought the house on that time, 179, 2.239, 240, these people houses now in Scarborough, $800-900 million.
They're all millionaires now.
80% of the people don't even have a mortgage in the house. And they're working for so hard at the same place, and they don't even realize they have that much money. Now you pay off the house, just sit back and relax, get your house work for you. Buy a property, get a rental income. Like, within another 5-10 years, you're going to retire. You need an income stream. You can't live on a pension income of $900. No, you can't. You have to set up a multiple stream of income. And this is the one. Even if you were to buy the house and flip the property, you're good. Any questions, guys? One thing I tell you, if you have any deal, you don't even have to give the deal to me. Just call me and ask me if you have any advice. I mentioned to Bison, I like to be part of this thing. And if you guys have any questions, ask me and I will happy to help you. I'll tell him, Harry, yeah, if this deal you could do that or anything. And you can ask the Christine, there's a card for you.
Yes,
if you
for
have
sure.
anybody looking
I'll
for.
post your information when I post the
Thank
video
you
to the office
so
as
much.
well. Thank you so much
And
for
if
coming.
anything, please get in touch with me. And that's part of my job to help clients and agents. And if you could make money, I'll make money. Yeah, everybody's happy.
That's the name of the game.
And
Very
Bison
good.
gets money too.
Yes.
Thank you.
And one thing about myself, I would not take the deal and keep it for 2 weeks and turn around and tell me, Harry, I can't do it. When I got the deal, I will tell him within 3 hours. I've been in the business for how long, yeah? And I don't play games. This is the time and people's money, your money, my time, everything. Within 3 hours, tell him, Harry,
So
there's
your
a deal,
financial
I could do
advisor
that.
as well, right?
And once I get the deal, that means done. But if I don't, I'll tell you within 3 hours, Harry, I can't do it, man. You have to go somewhere else. Because it's a waste of time, everybody's right? And I don't want that bad thing. Within 3 hours, I'll tell you, once I get the deal, once I take it and say, yeah, Harry, I can do that, done deal. You can sleep.
Yeah, one thing I
That's
can
my
recommend
commitment.
that.
That's your
One thing-
commitment.
Yeah,
I think someone's talking Basgram, sorry.
Yeah. One thing I can recommend that because I know him, my community long time.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you can trust even other community people are our agent, so they can trust him. I recommend that you buy personally. I mean, nothing to do, but little bit one problem. You have to go in the moon. That's a one problem.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
coming.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys. I'll
Uh,
see you.
If anything, please give me a call. And if you